Hello and welcome to your English news broadcast live on ERi-TV. Live on ERi-TV, it's exactly 10:30 p.m. on Eritrea's local time from our headquarters at Asmara with your domestic and international news in brief. I'm Zahra Badouri, but first we'll begin with your major headlines for this hour. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. Commendable plant resources regulation activity at the Ministry of Agriculture. Southern Red Sea region, access to clean water reached 75 and more. An international Russian military jet escorts U.S. spy plane over the Pacific. Argentina, Brazil, COVID-19 reports. And more. Welcome to your domestic in brief. 5 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers in Asmara Central Region 4 and Ad-Duqala 1 in the southern region, as your health report. On the other hand, 8 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the northern Red Sea region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly risen to 3,288, while the number of deaths stands at 10. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 3,491. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 16th April 2021. The Rules and Regulations Department of the Ministry of Agriculture has, in the last several years, conducted commendable plant resource regulatory activities, reports indicate. According to Mr. Saeed Nuruddin, head of the Regulatory of Plant Resources Division, the department since 2003 has been effectively exerting extensive regulatory activities on plants, quarantining agricultural chemicals, as well as on the quality and safety of seeds, stating that the Ministry of Agriculture has disposed about 400 tons of expired pesticides that was stored throughout the country, even since pre-independence years. Mr. Said said that 365 tons of those was disposed in the UK respecting international standards, and that the process of collecting and disposing of such expired chemicals and pesticides is still underway. Mr. Said stated that awareness-raising campaigns as well as workshops on proper application and conservation of pesticides as well as regulatory activities on ensuring safety of humans and the environment during desert locust combating effort was extensively conducted. He further noted that over 860 quintals of vegetables and fruits that were polluted by expired and unsafe pesticides were also disposed by the Safety Regulatory Department. Proceeding owing to the effort being conducted, access to clean water in rural areas in the southern Red Sea region has reached 75%. Speaking to Arena, as reports came, Mr. Tesfamariam Yohannes, Director General of Construction Development in the region, indicated that there was no potable water supply infrastructure beyond the port city of Asab in the pre-independence years, and that people depended on water reservoirs they themselves constructed. Since independence, the government has been conducting a strong effort to alleviate the problem, pointing out that the lack of a network of roads interlinking villages, the scattered establishment of villages, as well as harsh climate have been among the challenges being encountered. Mr. Tesfamariam said that encouraging programs have been implemented thanks to the tenacious effort on the part of the government and that of public. He further noted that thanks to the over 200 engineering researchers and 150 executive efforts exerted, 35 solar powers, 52 hand pumps, and 5 motor-powered potable water supply projects have been put put in place in villages and that 50 water reservoirs are constructed in place with low underground water resources. Stating expansion of water supply projects and construction of new projects are among charted out programs for this year, Mr. Tasfa Mariam commanded the public for strong participation. Medical oxygen manufacturing plant put in place in the southern region, a referral hospital, has commenced production, according to a report. The plant has the capacity to generate oxygen to ensure an adequate medical grade oxygen supply to health facilities in the region and beyond, the reports added, indicating that the demand of oxygen in the southern region was being supplied for medical grade oxygen manufacturing plants in Asmara. Dr. Amanuel Mehratab, head of the Ministry of Health branch in the southern region, said that the plant will generate adequate oxygen enough to meet the demand of the health facilities in the region as well as other regions. Pediatrician Dr. Samson Abai, on his part, stating that emergency cases as well as premature and underweight infants demand lots of oxygen supply, said that thanks to the oxygen manufacturing plant put in place within the premises of the Southern Region Referral Hospital, their problem has been alleviated. There are 1 referral hospitals and 4 hospitals, 3 community hospitals, 9 health centers, and 41 health stations, as well as 2 maternity and child care clinics in the Southern Region to date. The Romale health station Foro subzone is reported that it is rendering commendable services, especially in ensuring public health by raising public awareness on causes of diseases and other use of modern medicine. The Romale health station stated service on October 2019, and that services it has been rendering has been expanded from time to time, particularly in pre- and postnatal cares as well as in child health care and vaccination program, as your final report. The head of the health station, Assistant Nurse Zaid Abraha, indicated that solar power medical refrigeration was installed and additional rooms were built to the health station in 2020 that is able to provide all kinds of vaccine, resulting in increasing vaccination coverage in the locality. He went on to say that the public awareness has increased, that the number of pregnant women delivering at the health facility has increased by 56%. Romale Health Station provides services to residents of Romale, Dananlo, Dangule, Gargori, and Sadre, Umar Qabre, Ruba Haddas, and Damhina villages. Stay tuned for our international news after this short break. Do stay with us for more. And on your reports on the international line, the Russian Defense Ministry said on Friday a MiG-31 fighter jet has escorted an RC-135 U.S. strategic reconnaissance aircraft over the Pacific Ocean along the coast of Kamchatka, TASS news agency reported. The ministry said that the U.S. aircraft had not violated Russia's borders. More reports will follow soon. Argentina's government will tighten pandemic restrictions in and around the capital Buenos Aires, the train in a sharp spike in COVID-19 cases, including shutting down schools and imposing a curfew from 8 p.m. to limit social activities. President Alberto Fernandez, 62, given his all-clear earlier in the day after he was infected with the virus, said that the South American country needed to gain time in the fight against COVID-19 after daily cases hit a record this week. Reports say that the measure will see schools close in Greater Buenos Aires from Monday, and that the suspension of indoor sports, recreational and religious and cultural activities up until April the 30th. Argentina registered 25,157 new cases of COVID-19 on Wednesday after hitting a record of 27,001 cases on Tuesday. The country has been a total of 2.6 million people infected, with 58,542 deaths. Fernandez's government had been keen to avoid a blanket lockdown to protect a fragile economic recovery, and with poverty rates rising, but has been forced to tighten restrictions by the recent sharp rise in cases. Similarly, in Brasilia, federal prosecutors in the Brazilian state of Romale are investigating reports that illegally mined gold is being exchanged for COVID-19 vaccines in Yanomami Indigenous Reserve. The prosecutor's office told Reuters on Wednesday, however, tribal leaders in the Amazon region have complained of the deals, and prosecutors say they will investigate the report as part of the investigation already underway into the division of vaccine shots intended for indigenous people. Brazil is currently experiencing one of the worst waves of the coronavirus pandemic, and any country has suffered, and its indigenous people are among the most vulnerable. On your final report, there have been a number of casualties in a shooting accident in the U.S. city of Indianapolis, police report. Witnesses heard several gunshots at a FedEx facility, and one said he saw a man firing an automatic weapon. Some reports suggested 5 people have been killed and many more injured, but there is no confirmation. The gunman, said to have been acting alone, is reported to have killed himself as well. Authorities said that there was no further threat to public safety. Flights from the nearby international airport are not affected, however. City police spokesman Gene Cook said that as officers arrived, they came into contact with an active shooting incident. A FedEx statement said that the company was aware of shooting and cooperating with the authorities. It said in a quote that safety is their top priority and that their thoughts were with those who were affected. Dear viewers, that is all for now with your domestic and international news in brief. Until we are back with some more news, stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. But until then, have a nice one.